Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined with my good friend here, Miguda.
Niko
Hello,
salama
Miguda.
kakangu, niko salama
Mm,
kakangu, niko vyema labda za
mm.
kwako.
Mi niko salama. Sina la kusema tu ni Friday. Kuna inaitwa Pasaka ama inaitwa nini?
Tu katika likizo ya Pasaka.
Ni mrefu mno.
Aishi, tulianza jana. Hata
Watu wana,
hajafika Jumapili lakini ni kama mimi nishachoka.
watu wanajivinjari, wale ambao Mungu amewabariki na pesa wako kwa sehemu za mastarehe. Kuna wale ambao pia wako kanisani wanasherehekea. Sasa kila mtu anaisherehekea kwa jinsi anavyoipenda, unaona?
Unasherehekea jinsi unavyopenda, pia jinsi unayo hela.
Mm.
Mwenye hela naye ndio kusema sasa hivi. Mwenye hela ndio kusema katika likizo hii.
Na mtu alisema kwamba pesa ni sabuni ya roho, inaosha. Sijui kama ni ukweli.
Pesa ni sabuni ya roho inaosha, na pesa pia inalingana jinsi unaitumia, we ndio uko nayo ama yule mwenye amefanya savings. Sasa unajua kuna aina nyingi za pesa. Kuna yule mwenye hana matumizi lakini ako
Eh,
na hela, na kuna
eh,
yule mwenye ako na hela lakini anatumia sana.
mm. Okay.
Sasa inalingana.
Miguda
Huwezi sema
unajua,
hakuna mwenye ako na pesa. Pesa ni kila mtu anaweza kuwa na pesa. Pesa iko tu hapo. Sasa wewe uko nayo ama mwingine.
sijui ni nani alisema kama pesa haijakubadilisha basi hujapata pesa. Sasa kubadilika kwako inaweza kuwa aje? Labda tuseme inakubadilisha vipi? Labda kimatendo, kiafya ama kinini? Ndio sasa ujue uko na pesa.
Inakubadilisha, pengine niseme kinakubadilisha kiafya, ama
Mm,
unapata wale wenye walikuwa na kiafya hawakuwa na afya nzuri, lakini wakipata pesa tu hivi
mm,
unapata. Lakini pia wanasema kuna mambo mengi kiafya huwezi jua, pengine pia ukinona watasema ati unafaa kufanya tizi kidogo, punguze kama umekonda wewe, umeteseka, una pesa. Sasa
eh,
si kubadilika, ama pengine kupeana handouts. Unajua bro, kuna
mm,
wengine
mm,
wakipata hela wanapeana handouts
mm,
24/7, na
mm,
watu wanakunywa vile wanataka, watu
mm,
wanapiga sherehe vile wanataka. Na kuna wenye wakipata pesa pia
mm,
wamebadilisha marafiki,
mm.
hautawaona, wamekuwa vieta, wameenda. Sasa
Wewe,
kweli unabadilika, kuna njia za kubadilika, niseme hivyo.
okay, asante sana. Wacha nitambue uwepo wa Gudi ya Gypsy Corner. Nimeona wimbo ya Sifuna. It's a very nice song and I hope it will also energize the youth and people who are looking for change. Miguda, labda tuseme katika maisha yako kuna sehemu ama mahali ushaenda, yani ukajutia kwamba ukajiona pumbavu mbele ya watu. Mimi nakumbuka kuna wakati ambapo pale Kisumu tulikuwa nafanya kazi. Sasa kwa sababu nilikuwa pale eneo la Kisumu, mimi ndio nilikuwa mtu ambaye sana sana anasimamia hiyo eneo la Kisumu. Sasa siku moja mkubwa akatuita, inaitwa Lake Bogoria. Lake Bogoria kwenda sasa, walikuwa wameita wakubwa watu waende waongee, wajue ni company tunafanya aje biashara pale, wapi ambapo tunafaa tutie bidii ni marekebisho. Sasa unajua sisi tukiingia pale, hiyo ndio siku yangu mara ya kwanza kupata kwamba unapatiwa towel kidogo unanawisha nayo mkono. Eh, you know. Alafu pia tulikuwa nikabukiwa ile chumba cha kulala, ilikuwa inaitwa cottage. Eh? Sasa wakati ambapo nilikia nimeingia cottage, ukiingia hivi kuna kitanda fulani, inakaa ni sebuleni pale ambao unapumzika kabla hujaenda katika ile kitanda kubwa. Sasa mimi na ujinga wangu na wote huo, nikaingia pale kwa sababu baada ya kutoka mkutano nilikuwa nimechoka kidogo, then nikaingia pale mimi nikalala. Sasa asubuhi, kuamkia asubuhi nikasema kwani hii mlango inaenda wapi? Kuangalia ndio naona sasa kitanda kubwa sasa ile pale nilikuwa nalalia. Nikasema ujinga huu imenishika hii. Wewe ushawahi pata kama hivyo?
Pengine siwezi kumbuka vizuri, lakini naweza sema tu kuna wakati unaweza jipata ya kwamba kile ulikojua ni kama haujui, ama unapata kuna wale watu wako na ujuzi kukuliko, ama kuna wale watu wako na wanatambua vitu kuliko. Hata unaweza pata unajivunia kwa mtaa, kwa village, ya kwamba wewe ndio bingwa, lakini hebu wewe teremka kidogo ufikie hapo tao utapata kwamba kuna vitu hujui, vitu vingi sana. Ama unaweza jifanya ati wewe uko, kwa mfano wewe uko, hata tuseme tu uko kama Kilimani, ama uko Kileleshwa, uko Hurlingham, uko Ramshab, alafu sasa mwenzako anakuambia hebu teremka hapa Karen kidogo utajua kwamba bwana, kumbe hujawahi ishi Sasa hiyo ni ukweli, nakubaliana. Sasa utapata wewe unajifanya ati wewe ni mjuaji. Kufika hata hii mchezo inafanyika kesho, hii mambo ya majembe na mbavu. Majembe na mbavu. Napata mbavu amekuwa mzai hapo Islando, amepiga watu, ameweka mawe. Lakini kuna yule mzai alikuwa ametulia tu, anachapa tu mati zake pole pole. Kufika pale ataambiwa bwana, hii kitu inachezwa hivi. Sasa hiyo ni ukweli. Kuna lazima utapata pahali kwa pumbavu.
Majembe anatoka Kisumu, si ndio?
Majembe anatoka Kisumu. Manyata, unajua Manyata vizuri?
Najua Manyata. Manyata ni kubwa, unatokea hapo Kona Lejo, Kona Mbuta.
Manyata B.
Manyata B. No, sasa Manyata B, sasa ukiingia sasa hiyo sasa unajua wengi ambao wanaishi sana sana Manyata hawajui, wengi wao hawana kujua kwamba hii what section is this, yeah. But now when you go to the registry of lands, we have Manyata B and Manyata A. So Manyata B, it's around Car Wash, then towards Gudka, the Gudka area. You know, so when you come to Manyata A, it's about when you are in Kondalejo, Konambuta, Gorofani, you see all those areas. So okay, let me take this opportunity to say hi to Paul, and this is what Gypsy Corner says. I use Sifuna's new song in the gym, very catchy. Yes, it's like it gives some kind of goosebumps, and especially when you see the videos on how they are raising up their hands, it tells you that this is the moment. Thank you so much, Miguda, for joining this evening. I hope and I believe you are doing fine. There are a few things that I want us to comment on. And yesterday I told you this, that we are the originators of our own problem as a country. Despite the fact that sometimes we blame our leaders, we are the people who are encouraging or are facilitators of impunity. The reason why I'm saying that, Mr. Miguda, yesterday we talked about Machakos County concerning Wavinya Ndeti and Sami. You know how they had an agreement and arrangement. The sister came and apologized. And I say, you cannot do that. The same yesterday, we had scuffles. I think the other day, we had some scuffles at the parliament concerning the Samburu governor, where he was supposed to appear before the park committee, but I think he was within the parliament vicinity. Then he was leaving, and there was that exchange. Sifuna, Eddie, Onyonka were forcing him to come. And if you look at how the governor has used the money in Samburu, if you look at the statistics, Samburu actually is leading in the mortality rate. But what happened? The people of Samburu protested. They're protesting for somebody who has misused. They cannot account for some money. And then you're coming to tell me that leaders are not our leaders. Miguda, Are we really looking for change as a country? And if you look at that county, then we are saying our leaders. Come on, man.
We are complaining about our leaders, and I can say we are looking for change.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm looking for change, and some Kenyans, but
Mm-hmm.
there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
There's a problem with the people. You find that there are people, I don't know how some people tend to understand issues. There are people who I think they have already give up in life. They have gave up, and also they are they are comfortable, the status quo,
Yeah. Mm.
and any new idea or any attempt
Mm-hmm.
to challenge the status quo,
Mm-hmm.
you'll find that at the end of the day, you'll be a lone ranger or you'll be three of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you say that the problem is the people, not
Yeah.
the leaders per se, because in my view, like in the case of Samburu, we have only one person, a leader, but the people are more than a leader. We have one person as the president, but we
Mm-hmm.
are more than the president. It is just, I believe there's a generation which already gave up,
Mm-hmm.
and they are contented with the presiding of the leaders in the country. That one must be undertaken very seriously, because
Mm-hmm.
you might be agitating for change,
Change.
you want good governance, but already the people you want for them change already, they are contented and
Yeah.
they are comfortable with the status quo. They just want to retain. Like what I had today, someone, Farouk Kibet.
Mm-hmm.
Farouk Kibet today in Western, he was saying that Nabulindo.
Mm-hmm.
Nabulindo should be re-elected and re-elected. Then I asked why. Then Farouk Kibet goes ahead and said that the problem with Kenyans is that they change leaders. Kenyans should retain a leader for a quite long time because that leader will deliver for them. So I was like, why do we have democracy? And no, Farouk Kibet, when he speaks, the
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
were applauding him. That's why I told you there's a generation
Mm-hmm.
or there's a people who already are contented with what we have and they are not ready to change. So wherever you agitate for change, you are making noise to them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and this is what Menstura says. He had gone to Parliament building to create content. He pays guys to protest in Samburu. That governor is a thug. Now, even the people who are allowed to be paid so that you can protest, you don't even look at your life. What has he done? What has he done? You know, and that's why now I agree with some Swahili saying that ukipanda mahindi usitarajie kuvuna usitarajie kuvuna maharage. Now, the leaders that we elect is a reflection of us, because all the character trait they're exhibiting, especially, that is who we are. For instance, take this issue of governors versus senators. It is within the law in the new constitution that the governors, they have to appear before the Senate. Yeah. And remember, it is only parliament that has the power. Every sector, including the military, nobody can, there is no any other office in the land that cannot appear before the parliament for investigation, including the presidency. But now, what the governors are saying through their governors' council, that there's some members of Senate who are getting some bribes from them, a lot of money. We have the courts of law. Come with those evidence. Show to the public that the Senate are getting money from you. So we've reached a point in a country whereby we make our own laws and rules. We when to want to appear. But when you look at what the governors are spending, especially on the office expenditure versus what is being spent on the people, yesterday we talked about Cherargei talking about Gladys Wanga and the coast governor. talking about the Nandi governor, all these governors, look at the billions and billions of shillings that are just facilitating their own. Some goes to an extent of hiring cars, yet the counties has cars. And those cars that they are hiring, those are business associates. And now you want to say that you cannot appear before the Senate. So I think the place where we've reached a point whereby we do not even belong. I don't know where we are, Mr. Miguda.
What I was telling is true, that whom the leaders we elected are a reflection of the society. And that's why I was explaining to you that there's a population whereby they're contented with the status quo. And that's why they can be influenced through what we call protest. They can be paid to do whatever they're doing, because for what? Why? Why are you doing so? There are people, and some people are also saying maybe because of the situation at home. Maybe some people are languishing under abject poverty. That due to that one, the leaders do take advantage and retain the status quo. For instance, if a leader can organize for you to demo, a leader can organize it for you to mobilize goons, and at the end of the day, they give you handouts, or they manage you with what you can eat for today, but not a long-term solution.
Yeah.
They give you a temporary solution for your lifetime in this country. And that's why we were saying, even the issue of affordable houses, if you're a plumber, if you're a masonry, if you are electrician, that work is just temporary, because affordable houses will not be built every day. There will be a time whereby we'll shift to other things. So I only got
All right, Miguda. Okay, let me wait for Miguda. And this. Thank you so much, Mr. Mindful. This is what mindful thinking is saying to us here. It makes sense. The governors can't bring any evidence of bribery to Parliament. If they do bring, both will be incriminated, the giver and the receiver of the bribe. True. We are not saying that they're not paying, but now this governor and Senate issues. And now, if you look at now the stand that also the senators have taken, that okay, now we're not going to talk about disbursement. And at the end of the day, the people who suffers most are the wananchi. So I think I I don't know what will happen, especially with our leaders. If and this is happening, especially happening in Parliament. This is the higher institutions. This is the you can say that the core that drives where the legislation should be enacted, and who that should put everybody on check. Remember, Ruto has not provided any evidence of corrupt MT. He MPs he bribed with 10 million. Yeah, those are some of the things that in the public domain, especially during when Rigathi Gachagua was being uh, impeached. It is said the money did exchange hands. And a point whereby, and this is the place that we've reached as a country, whereby everything we think that can be done is about money. Look at what members of parliament are doing in any of their meetings. Calling today, we are meeting women, or now mama wajane. What do? They come, meet them, give them rice, bag of rice, and what follows it? Money. Everywhere, it's about dishing out of money. Everywhere is about dishing the money. You are called to meet. Sometimes you go to state house. It is alleged that sometimes when you go there, there is something that you don't walk. Huh? Ulazima upate kitu kidogo. That if I have to talk to you, that there's money has to exchange hands. So I think it is we are not progressing as a country. I think it is a retrogress. We are retrogressing. We are not making any changes in terms of governance. Yeah. especially the leadership. And Miguda, before you come in, yesterday I saw, I don't know which organization was giving the leaders the best performing. I think such like awards should not be even be given. The people who don't deserve those awards, I think maybe they're doing it for uh, I don't know, because like some of the leaders that received those awards, uh, uh, what do you think, Mr.
Uh,
Migudu?
hey, there's a problem. We have a challenge as a country, and that's why it's not easy to overhaul the system.
Yeah.
It's not easy to get rid of this system. Even if the young people right now are rallying behind Sifuna
Mm,
or are rallying behind Quantum,
mm,
I don't believe that it is very easy to beat the system because the culture, the mindset of the electorates, once we transform
yeah.
our mindset
Mm-hmm,
as the people,
mm-hmm,
I tell you, we will not have anyone in that parliament who are currently presiding, and even the president. Everyone will be at home.
mm-hmm,
But because of the system and the
mm-hmm,
culture, the
mm-hmm,
leaders will just take advantage of the system and the mindset of the people who want to change the school. Like when I'm campaigning for parliamentary seat,
mm-hmm.
I go to my village, I I distribute rice,
Yeah.
I give people 1Ks, then they will just vote for me. And I'll
To,
also have some youths who are manning the polling stations. So
mm,
at the end of the day, you find out that there's no clear structure
mm-hmm,
of this leader, whether you want to be representing the people or you
mm-hmm,
want to legislate or oversight. So when this person reached the Parliament of Kenya, National Assembly,
mm-hmm.
he'll just busy doing business with the government. He will not
Yeah.
concentrate on the electorates because he knows very well that after 5 years, he has some cash to go and bribe the people. That mindset, whereby you can be organized, you can be micromanaged
Mm-hmm,
by a politician. For instance, if a politician has been apprehended for stealing public money, you'll
mm-hmm.
see the people who elected that politician demonstrating
Yes.
that he should be relieved. Or if someone has been arrested of hate speech or inciting violence, they will protest that our AP should be. But if you go deep and do your interrogation,
Yeah.
you'll get that these people were paid. There's some 100 bob or 200 bob that
Mm.
was given to this crowd. So I think the system is not making us to progress the way you have said. The system, we have a very rotten system.
It is we call it retrogressive. We are not. Uh, you know that's okay. There's also an issue that I also want us to do very quick, at least to share our views very quick. Yesterday we saw elders of the Luo nation especially met somewhere, and they were discussing issues to do with the Luo. But what kind of like caught my attention was the way the CS for Treasury, Mbadi, especially um, claiming that there's a community that is our enemy, especially enemy to the Luo. And you know, um, some of these politicians and those who are eating right now, or who are eating, they tend to forget one thing that internet doesn't forget. You know, he's one person that is vying to become president in 2032. That is his ambition from the people who are close to him and all that we are seeing on the internet. But remember, at some point, you will need this community for your presidency, you know. And secondly, the position that you hold, the politics of emotions doesn't, um, politics of the emotion doesn't bring development or doesn't grow economy. Yeah, it doesn't grow economy. What it does, it makes you get into power, then continue with doing what you're supposed not to be doing if it is about all the corruption that we might be seeing. But I think as a leader, especially like Mbadi, I think that was the worst thing or worst statement or the worst speech, especially standing on a national platform. Even if you're talking about the issue of your region, there is no way in which bring about the history and say that, these are all kind of politics. There are people who doesn't care what happened, but people want on how economy can work. Yeah. And remember, as you castigate this community, yesterday president was in Kirinyaga. What did the president say? That do you think I can leave the people who voted me to the presidency so that I can go somewhere? Tutakutana hapa hapa. And that is your boss. Miguda.
Politics is quite interesting.
Yeah.
John Mbadi, in my view, Mbadi is playing all politics. Mbadi is having all tactics.
Mhm.
Mbadi was the king's mouthpiece. Mbadi can be king's mouthpiece. He used to speak for Raila, but Mbadi cannot become a king. Mbadi is never born a king. Mbadi is never born presidential. So he can only speak for the king, but he can never be a king. He was never born to be a king. Mbadi is egocentric. Someone who is egocentric, someone who loves himself. And you have had people complaining all over that Mbadi do something. But since he was appointed treasury for CSC, he has not even go to Jacaranda to to do something. So this is someone who is selfish, egocentric, and a king, as a king,
Yeah.
there are many people, there are many subjects, including your servants, the maidens are there. People must have a stable consumption of king's food. But is someone who cannot even retain or maintain the kingdom. What I want to say is this: when you bring the issue of tribalism,
Yeah.
and now you say that these communities have been our enemies, how can you substantiate that? Because you are an individual. How do you put the entire community
Yeah.
for your own self interest that this community has been our enemies? How?
Yeah.
Who knows that one? Who saw that one?
Mhm.
What are your evidence to prove that they have been our enemies? And that's why I'm telling you, Buddy is an old person. In mind, he's old. He's
Mm.
just young, maybe in terms of age, he's 55, but in thinking, he's
Yeah.
thinking those era of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, those eras. But Jaramogi was a bit wise. It's
Mm.
in those 80s and 90s. Those were Mzee of 80s and 90s. But they were Mzee of 80s and 90s
Mm.
in his mindset. Because how can you bring that politics of these communities have been our enemies? So what? And let me tell you, to be realistic, without Kikuyu nation,
Mhm.
can Badi drive this economy? Can Luo community drive this economy? This economy minus Kikuyu nation, Kikuyu nation, the people driving this economy, and
Yeah.
Kikuyu nation, the people who made Badi to be where he is, because he is now proud to be a CS, allocating and also deciding because of the taxes. Of course, we pay
Mm.
tax, all of us, but there's
Mm.
also that ratio. Ratio. The people contribute a lot in the economy are also those are the facts. You run away from them. Kikuyus are a bit
Mm.
ahead of most of the communities in this country.
Yeah.
So, but they should think twice because Kikuyus are part and parcel of this country, and Kikuyus have also been, like I've told you, they have been driving the economy. Same time, even the communities it
Mhm.
comes from,
Yeah.
most of them are employed by Kikuyu people,
Mhm.
and there's also that intermarriage. So I think
Okay.
that's why I told you Barry's playing those politics of 80s, 60s,
Mm. Mm.
70s. That
Mm.
that one will not work because we are in 2027, and that's why Buddy, this is the first time. The other time he talked about the Israelites when Moses, Joshua, many things he has been talking about Israelites. Moses died, dry land. Those are all tactics. The
Yeah.
reality is right now we have issues as young people. We don't have Moses here and Joshua here. We don't have Kikuyu and Luon here. We have an employment issue here pressing the young people. We need an employment. We have universal health coverage, whereby we are prone to diseases as Africans. We need health facilities.
Okay.
We need medication. We are having kids here who need to go to school. We need infrastructure. We need money in our pockets. These things like of Moses, do what? Kikuyu nation have been enemies. Maybe they are Buddy's enemies. Maybe Buddy wanted to marry Kikuyu, but but let me tell you, brother. So let me quickly. Buddy, let me tell you, this politics of ours, this young tax politics. Buddy cannot sustain this politics. Wait and see. Here in 27, you will see. Buddy cannot sustain this politics. These are those eras of 1992 when they were singing Ford Kenya. These are quite different politics and are quite different generations. That's why I told you Mbadi cannot make it even to the ballot in 2032. So I think let us be progressive and let us not. People like Mbadi, these are the kind of leaders who want to put people into a cage and decide for people that all of us must have one mindset that if we say broad base, it's broad base. If we say underground, so anybody with the divergent opinion is being tagged with the community enemy. But like they said, at any Luo who will not subscribe to broad-based government, that is an enemy of the community. So what? As we are not subscribing to that we can be enemies of the community, but there's nothing Buddy will do past threatening people. So I can say we are different people, different times, different generation. We will not subscribe to those old tactics of community A, community B. Let us focus as a nation.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Miguda, for that. And if you're watching us for the very first time, just go on the YouTube channel and hit that subscription button so that when we are having conversation like this, then the YouTube will notify you. Then you can join us in our conversation. Let me go to the comment section and listen to what Ruto promised his electorate, that he was going to weed out corruption. I started with e-citizen just to buy them off for himself. Thank you so much. And yesterday I was saying, was it the other day I was saying the Narok International Airport was supposed to be completed in March 2026. I don't know whoever is coming. Anybody from Narok, please let us know whether that airport it has been completed, because President promised that on May 5th, 2025, that by March 2026, the Narok International Airport will be completed. If I'm wrong, somebody can correct me. Yes, so that one also is something that so electorates kusema hapa viongozi ni mbaya. Let me see, there's something that I read here which was especially, I'm not getting it now. Okay, I'll get it as time goes. Happy birthday. Thank you so much for joining. This is Brother Benson Media. If you are here for the very first time, you can subscribe to our channel so that when we go live, the YouTube will notify you. Then you can join the conversation. Let me see here. Please don't insult at Jarabogi. He was one of the open-minded politicians in Kenyatta 1 government. Thank you so much. Shah followed. Okay, the list is endless. Let me see. Also, there's something here that I need to read. Okay. This is what Paul says on Mbadi remarks. Mbadi is at abilities who cannot finish a paragraph without mentioning my community. Okay, thank you so much. Wanga out. John Mbadi lives in a gold-plated mansion while the roads in his village are not tarmacked. For the longest time, he served as a member of parliament for almost 15 years as elected member and 2 years as nominated. But sometimes we talk about this. I've gone to Gwasi Magunga. I've gone to Gwasi Magunga. Actually, the roads are terrible, terrible. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, so that is it. Okay, Miguda, thank you so much. Let me say this again. Ledama Olekina is appalled why you guys are concerned with the undone Narok Airport, yet they are not complaining for the failed promise. No, Sisi, we are just reminding him that because we need to go to Narok, we want to go with the chopper bwana. Lazima tuende na ndege bwana. Let us enjoy the skies. Just let him know we want to enjoy the skies to Narok. The roads, I don't know how the roads are, but we want to enjoy the skies. Okay, Miguda again. There's also there's also an issue here. It is a trend, and we've seen, especially when the prominent leaders, especially when the prominent person or a leader dies, you find that within a short period of time, their family members are being given an opportunity to work into the government. The latest one being the wife of the late Ngeno from the from the social media. We've seen that he was appointed as one of the board members of ICT. Why do you think this one happening? Like those positions are just they're being those vacancies. They tend to be filled, uh, especially with the prominent families. Yet there's so many Kenyans who are applying for those jobs, but they cannot get them. Why is it that they only avail those vacancies, avails themselves immediately a prominent person dies? Okay, you're
I've not
still
heard
with.
your question. I've not heard your question.
My question to you is: we've seen a trend whereby if a prominent person dies, then within a short period of time, their spouses or their close family members are being appointed to the positions of various positions in the government. So my question to you is that why these vacancies usually are coming out or are usually available immediately when somebody dies, but during when this person is still alive, the Kenyans who are applying for this position, they don't get them, or these are created. And why is so that especially to the family who are suffered, especially? Okay, I think Biguda has um, a problem with the net. Good, yeah, that is how low Leda. Hey, hadi leo umeamua kuchoma. Chomeni tu. Okay, thank you so much. And we are just questioning some of the promises that we are being made, and and as I started earlier, uh, as much as we want to blame all these leaders, we are the makers of our problem, especially the voters, because we tend to believe, or we tend to buy some of the lies that we're being told with the leaders that these are going to happen. In the real sense, if you look at it, especially for an airport or any other, um, what would I say, a project, especially of such magnitude, I don't think it can take 1 year. It usually take so many years. But because we are driven, we are emotionally driven to politics, and they want to hype us and see that we are working, that is something that we need. And another thing also that I think sometimes, if in the near future, if we want to be a good country, this idea of launching a project before it starts, then I think it should come to an end. The good thing that they should do, they should come, and when they are launching a project, the projects as has been completed. So you just come and launch, and we see services are being offered in those projects. But this idea of launching, we've seen so many relaunch from previous administration, and several times they've been relaunched. So that is something that also we must to talk about it as a country. Yeah, so if again, if you're watching us for the very first time, this is Brother Benson. You can always hit the subscription button so that you be part of this conversation. Let me see what Paul is saying. Those jobs given to relatives or deceased persons are used for political gains to trap the community of the deceased, but it doesn't serve the Kenyan interest. Yeah, so they are not created for Kenyans, but they are created especially to whip the emotions of that particular region and say that okay, we are loved. And it has always been a norm in our country. Megoda, what can you comment about that? These positions that are being given.
I can just say they're rewarding them so that it can appear to be maybe a community appointed to certain position.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, let me say this. We are not a monarchical state.
Mm-hmm.
We are a constitutional democracy state whereby we believe in the one man, one vote. We believe
Mm-hmm.
in the universal suffrage. Whenever there is a by-election
Mm-hmm.
or someone died, we
Mm-hmm.
just need to take people to primaries, then through universal suffrage because maybe I was the area member of parliament.
Yeah.
My kids, my wife have never had interest in politics or
Mm-hmm.
interest in leadership.
Yeah.
Then by chance that I passed away, they are
Mm-hmm.
being rewarded so that they can be in parliament or whatever case.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we end up with bad leaders, sometimes we end up with dynasties, sometimes we end up with demagogues who don't want to leave power
Yeah.
because they never had any intent to serve.
Mm-hmm.
The intention was just to maybe retain power for life. What I want to say is that I don't I, I don't subscribe to that appointment whereby if someone passed away, maybe it was a governor, deputy, likely the family, maybe the father, the daughter, the son, the wife, or the brother. We are not a monarchical state. That's actually we should let free because when anybody is competent, if once you are competent and you are qualified, you should not be bad that the disqualification is you don't
Mm-hmm.
come from certain family. The fact that you are born from certain family qualifies you to be MP or qualifies you to get a parasitical job. That is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone is qualified to be whatever I want in this country. That's why we create that room for competence.
Okay, thank you so much. Mindful Thinking says, by the way, April Fool's Day is cancelled in Kenya since we have Fool's Day every day by the president. Okay. And he says this in Ruto's politics, launching is the project, not the project. And you find that everybody is talking about that Kenyan politics of transaction. It is something that we should talk about. Miguda, I think we are just about to talk about this the issue of ODM Wanga. Um, Sending a letter to Sifuna and maybe what does it mean? But before we go into that, there's also something that we need to talk about. I know there's a big game that is going to take place, boxing match that is between Bavu and Majembe. And the other day we talked about safety. And I've seen in the internet, especially from Obina, on how leaders have bought tickets towards the match. I don't know whether they're putting in consideration the capacity of where they are going to host. What is the capacity? Because there must be a limit, the capacity of that building. Those are the precautions, the safeguards that you have to put in place, especially the risk of the people, the spectators who are going to watch the match, and also the participant. Are they considering that? That is one. Again, um, secondly, the medical staff, especially that can handle emergencies just in case, because when you listen to what happened the other day in Kakamega about spoiler, one of the concerns that people were raising was about the health, the medical staff, in such a game. So maybe they've considered those among other things, not rather than we are saying we have a capacity of 200 and they are dishing out tickets of about 400, and the building cannot have that capacity.
Okay, that's good because we talked about safety and sports. Like I've told you, the issue of Majembe and Babu Destroyer. Like me, I said that they should be training before the match. They ought to have been training because you cannot go to a boxing without training,
Mm,
boxing match without training. You need to a lot of training, a lot of workout. Then also you should be guided of the rules of the game, whereby you need to fight within the rules. And
yeah,
also the issue of safety, like I've told you, the outfits for boxing. You
yeah,
need to have those outfits. You need to be taken through medical test, and also in case of anything happens, because this is boxing, someone might hit your jaws very hard, and there should be a response immediately,
mm,
like a medical response should be there, standby. We need to, after looking at the safety of the players, also we need to take the care of the audience,
yeah,
the spectators, whereby how are they going to be sitting, where are there rows, how many. So at the end of the day, we end up with a nice match. Like I've told you, from the training,
mm,
people have tried to have mental threats, like Bavu saying that you're gonna snatch that wife from
yeah,
Majembe.
uh,
If Majembe beats him,
mm,
you're gonna die, you're gonna commit suicide, so on and so forth. They have been so, like I've told you, these things are just mental. Like
yeah,
when you are doing like the Premier League, you can say, okay, today we are not going to play Saka. Then
mm,
someone going to say, okay, Saka will not be playing or Saliba will
mm,
not be playing. But
mm,
if you look at the squad, you're gonna
mhm,
meet there with Saka, there's Saliba, there's
mm,
Gabriel. But
mm,
they have told you in training that, oh, Saka missed training, Saka was on the training, just to create mentality that, oh, you're gonna be an easy soccer. But if you get into the pitch, you find that Saka is there, Saliba, Gabriel. That's Arsenal. So, for instance, if you like politics, I can just threaten you that William Ruto cannot be defeated. That's
mhm,
that's that's just mental. You are just William Ruto has never been defeated, but you find that the easiest person to beat is William Ruto so far. So it's just mental. We are being created. So so like this boxing,
yeah,
Bob has been creating mental that
mm,
he gonna destroy the ribs of Majembe. But let me tell you, from the
mm,
look of things, I'm able to follow their trainings.
mm,
Majembe has done a very good homework.
yeah,
Majembe has trained thoroughly, and Majembe is also is short, and also he got the force that
yeah,
whereby he can stand by. So what I want to add on top of what you said,
yeah,
if they must fight,
mhm,
the referee should be very cautious because someone like Destroyer Bavu, he said that nimejangori. He
mm,
cannot wait even for the referee to whistle a blow. So, so you must take those precautions. I agree with you that even tomorrow we are going to watch that match between the
yeah,
two. It has
yeah,
been waited for a quite long time,
mhm,
but I also I believe that let us take precautions for the
mhm,
fans and
mhm,
also the players. At the same time, they should play within the rules. So anybody, and also remember this issue whereby if you don't play within the rules, even in FIFA, you can be banned and also you
mhm,
can be disqualified. There are some teams who are not going to participate in the World Cup because of certain issues. There are some
okay,
teams also cannot participate for the AFCON because of certain issues. At the same time, there are
mhm,
teams that have been banned. So there are those rules if you must play. So you look at the long term. You can be banned today and you fail to play boxing for the rest of your life. But sometimes maybe boxing was the
mhm,
only source of income for you, or that's
okay,
where your talent is. So I think I agree with you. We
all right,
should take the precautions, understand the
mhm.
rules, and also have the rightful outfits for the players.
All right, thank you so much. We can also go without mentioning and thanking the people who came together to organize and to promote this talent, because there are quite a number of people worldwide who are earning their living through sport. So we thank everyone, including Obina, who came up with the initiative, the partners, and everyone for making sure that the all event will be successful in a way. So we could, our last lap here is about Orange Democratic Movement, the civil war that we are still seeing happening in ODM ever since the loss of Raila Amolo Odinga. Yesterday, Rwanga gave a letter, especially to Sifuna, to showcase cause over party disciplinary action. And he gave Sifuna days to respond to the letter. And there are some accusation that has been leveled against Sifuna, especially that he will appear before the committee and answer those. And there are so many people who have said there's no need, because like the committee that is going to appear before are people who have already made their mind that they are going to support President William Ruto, which is against Sifuna's stand. And based on how even operations and how spanner works have been happening in ODM, they're not going. It is not going to be in favor of Sifuna. Among other accusations that Sifuna was accused of, or is accused of by the ODM and the chair, is that one of them is persistent public contradiction of the party resolution, that despite participating in the party meetings and public conveying party resolution in your capacity as a Secretary General, including resolution of the 16th, 27th October 2025 and 13th November 2025, you have subsequently issued contradictory public statements in various forums, thereby creating confusion and eroding constitutional coherence. That is one of the things that they're accusing Sifuna of. Maybe let's do them really quick. What do you say about the persistent public contradiction, especially that of the party that Sifuna has taken? Do you have anything to say about how Sifuna has contradicted the stand of the party, or the decision that has been made of the party? Then,
First, before I respond to the question, let me, by asking Sifuna to appear before the disciplinary team, that's the ODM people,
mm-hmm.
that is like asking the hyenas to decide the fate of the sheep. Hyenas will just hit the sheep. They won't they won't make the sheep survive. So Sifuna, by him appearing to that committee, they just kick him out. What I want to say is that him contradicting the party position in public and also him participating in those meetings, him being a part of the resolution, then when they went into public, he contradicted the resolution of the party. I think that those things were just projected. They wanted to, maybe it was Baba intent, either to work with the root or not. So Sifuna called in brief, but if it could be possible for him to work with Ruto, that's how they could have kicked him out. That okay, you are contradicting party position. We have stated that we are going to work with Ruto. These are our solution. Then you contradict public. So either way, Baba living or Baba dead, ODM was still going to do away with Sifuna if they could be working with William Ruto. Sifuna was only going to be useful if they could have not been in agreement with William Ruto. So I think either way, Sifuna was prepared for sacrifice.
Okay, thank you so much.
These people already made their mind sacrifice.
Mm. Let
He
me
was being
bring.
used. He was
Okay,
being used.
okay. So you feel like he was being used, but eventually he was going to be exited from the party at some particular moment in time.
Yeah, either way, what I understand that Sifuna was being used because he can be used. This is politics. So either way, Raila could have seen that, okay, we are in 2027 and we have agreed with the Ruto is 50-50, then I can
mm,
decide to go with the Ruto. But if there is
mm,
no agreement here and also there is no goodwill between me and
mm,
Ruto,
mm.
there's no utmost good faith. No, they have not disclosed all the material facts for the agreement. Therefore, in my view, let me go and work. Sifuna was going to be useful if
Mm,
Raila could have not been working with the Ruto beyond
mm.
2027. But if Raila could be working with the Ruto to going forward, Sifuna was still
Mm.
going to be sacrificed. That's my view.
Okay.
So either way,
Yeah. No, knowing that, and this is what let me see what my brother is saying here. And I think also, I think you mentioned something of the sort. ODM wants to legitimize the removal of Sifuna. Period. He will be out by Friday. They have made up their mind to out him. Yeah, because I think the group of Wanga, especially the Oburu axis, they've decided, one, that they're going to work with President William Ruto. Two, that they're not planning to work with Sifuna. And so, what is the way forward for Sifuna? Because to me, Miguda, this is what I've always been saying. Sifuna should decide, instead of going all through this, just let it go, because your thoughts and your political view right now does not align, do not align with that one of Oburu and the entire leadership of ODM that we have. And there is no way in which you are going to defeat this, bearing in mind that the president also is involved, especially, as you know, during the burial of Raila. Uh, President said that he will not allow anybody to bring ODM to the opposition. So I think the likes of Sifuna, they should decide and make up their mind on the path they want to follow. But if they want to fight this, I don't think that Sifuna is going to achieve it. And also there's this issue of certificate. Who is in the custody of the certificate?
okay. Before I answer the issue of certificate, let me state that when Sifuna should now move on because
Mhm,
they are not going to work with Sifuna. Sifuna was being used, the way I've told you. He was being told
mhm,
that go and say this, go and say this. Because Sifuna was speaking with authority, that there was some information he was not speaking alone. So he was being used. At the
mhm,
end of the day, he was going to be sacrificed. Right now, he has been sacrificed. And
mhm.
let me tell you, going forward, Sifuna should not waste his time about ODM issues here and
Yeah.
there because ODM has moved on. Sifuna should focus on how he can be re-elected the senator, or Sifuna should be focused on how he can vie for the presidency, if that is the case. Because already they have ODM as their candidate for senator, the last.
Mhm,
So they have nothing to do with Sifuna. Sifuna was in ODM. Sifuna was the person who was supposed to defend that seat with the ODM party. But right now they have the last has been endorsed by majority of the people. The last is going to contest for the government. So Sifuna should move on very fast. Leave this issue of ODM. The issue of certificate, let me answer you here. Certificates by law is that the custodian of the certificate of the party is the SG. But let me tell you one thing. You are an SG, and the office of the SG is like a shell. Why am I saying so? Sifuna was an SG. Sifuna was the general without a gun. And even if he was having a gun, there were
mhm,
no bullets in that gun. The gun was empty
mhm.
because he's the custodian of the certificates,
Yeah.
but Junet Mohammed is the director of elections. He is the custodian of certificates, but Philip Etale is the director of communication. He is the custodian of the certificates, but Ruth, this MP from Kisumu West, this info is
Uh,
called who?
Rosa Boyo.
Kisumu West. Rosa Buya is the director, is the political affairs director. So you are the SG, but you don't have the instruments of being an SG. SG
Mm,
should be powerful that I'm the SG of the party, I'm the person who is communicating for the party because I'm the director of election. But I'm an SG, but Philip Etale is the director of communication. I'm an SG, Junet Mohammed is the director of election. It means when it comes to nomination, is Junet Mohammed who issues certificates, not Sifuna. When it comes to communication, the party communicates through Philip Etale, and that's why Philip Etale communicated that time when the court pronounced itself, the tribunal. It is Philip Etale who responded. You are the SG, but political affairs is being handled by that woman from Kisumu West. So in my view, Sifuna was just an SG without instruments of being an SG. A shell office. You don't have any mandate. So when you say that is the custodial certificate, is what and what, it is true by the law. But practically, it does not discharge the full mandate of the office of the SG, because when it comes to nomination, the person who is running the show is Junet Mohammed. When it comes to communication, the person running the show is Philip Etale. When it comes to political affairs, the person running the show is that one from Kisumu West. And remember, when they were giving this seat to Ababu Namwamba, and Sifuna could have seen this thing from far, because when Ababu Namwamba insisted that he must be the SG of ODM and is the popular candidate by that time, they decided, okay, we are going to give the SG. Remember when Nyong was the SG, Nyong was there was no director of communication, there was one director of election, there was one director for political affairs. But immediately Nyong ceased becoming the SG and Ababu Namwamba came in. They split that office. So Junet was made the director of election, then Opiyo Wandayi was made political affairs, Philip Etale, director of communication. So Ababu Namwamba was discharging duties in an office without any share. That's why Ababu Namwamba was very easy to be kicked out, because even if he was kicked out, but that office is functioning. Right now, if Sifuna is kicked out, ODM is still functioning because Etale will be communicating, Rosa Buya is there, at the same time, Junet will be conducting nominations. So I think even if that's the case, and that's how we want it to be, but practically, Sifuna does not hold those offices. Sifuna don't have the certificates for ODM as things stand right now. And even if he has those certificates, where has he kept them? Where has he kept them? In his house. So we must also be practical. Sifuna does not have the certificates for ODM. Certificates of ODM are being managed by those three organs. You are just an SG that I'm the SG, but there's no mandate you are discharging.
Okay, that's okay. Before I welcome in my brother, and our time is almost over, I'll give you a time to say a few, then we can close the show. Shock as bunge la wananchi members storm Nairobi CBD chanting 2 terms. So, and if you look at that video, they are done in UDA colors and they are chanting 2 term. And this is another area whereby now we need to question, especially the bunge la wananchi, because if you look at the history of bunge la wananchi back in the days, they used to discuss issues, especially even though in the bunge la wananchi there are those who are for the government and those who are not for the government, but the level at which now they do it is quite much different with the initiators, or I would say that the pioneers of bunge la wananchi at Jivanji Garden. So those are some of the things that also we will be following, and chukua kura yako. Hiyo ndio, I think this is to encounter Niko Kadi. If you look at it very keenly, they are encountering that Niko Kadi slogan, kwa sababu wanasema chukua kura yako, na Niko Kadi, I have a card in English. All right, msimama habari gani?
Safi ndugu yangu, safi kabisa ndugu yangu.
Uko salama?
Uko poa kabisa.
Okay, sawa sawa. Leo labda ulikuwa umepotea, naona kama muda wetu umeyoyoma. Tunataka kufunga, alafu ndugu yangu Obura atakuja na kipindi cha pili. I'm reaching out to, sorry, good year, I'll reach out to
Hamna shida ndugu yangu, najua pia shughuli sometimes mtu anabana kidogo, so ukipata nafasi ya kuzungumza japo moja tumetia siku.
Ebu tupatie kauli yako kwa haya maneno ambayo yamesemwa katika Sifuna, katika ODM vile vile.
Kaka leo nimeshikika, yaani
Umeshikika.
sikuzamia vile sana
Alright.
sikuzamia sana Njuga, lakini labda kuwe na maswali mawili matatu nijibu, niite siku.
Mm. Okay, asante sana. Wacha nichukue nafasi hii kusalimia ndugu yetu pia hapa Primitive Wisdom. Asante sana kwa kukuja. Na okay, naona kama tumebaki na dakika kidogo sana ili tufunge, lakini najua ndugu yangu Makobura atarudi hapa ili atuletee pia mazungumzo ambayo itazungumzia yale yapo. Pia kesho asubuhi na mapema tutakuwa na Mzalendo kuanzia saa 1 asubuhi ya Kenya mpaka kitu around saa 3 tutakuwa we will be talking about the summary or the recap of the week of what happened during the week, and we will have a conversation on that. I think we will be joined with Joseph and other panelists. So hopefully if you wake up very early in the morning tomorrow, you can also join us. Again, I would want to take this opportunity to thank everyone, especially who in the comment section, our good friend Goody, thank you so much. And we have Primitive Wisdom too, thank you so much. We have at Mindful Thinking, thank you so much, my brother, for joining. We have Judith, thank you so much. And those who, Paulo, thank you so much for joining. And for those who are just watching and did not comment also, we say thank you for that. Miguda, we ni mtu ambaye anatoka Migori. Hebu tuambie kama ni ukweli kwamba Migori Football Club wamehitimu kuenda kucheza Premier League. Have they been promoted to Premier League?
They are currently number 1, so
Yeah?
they are going to play Premier League.
Oh, okay. I've
Kenya
never.
Premier League.
How do they
Kenya,
play?
They of course they are not that good, because you understand the Premier League is very competitive. So they need to do a bit of more signings. But let me tell you one thing. Do you know the squad of Harambee Stars that almost made us to go to semi-finals was full of Migori, or they came from Migori Youth Club?
Really?
That team, yeah. People like Stanley, those were people whom we hosted. People like you saw Omondi, Sylvester. They like 6 guys came from Migori Youth Club. They came from that academy. The team that almost made us reach semi-finals, the half of the squad came from Migori Youth Academy. So when they were in primary, they were in high school, that's where they were training. So it's a good team anyway. So, but I think in the Premier League, they need to do more signings because it's very much competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they will be playing. That's a good news. They have been trying for the last 6 years. It hasn't been easy. So this was their year. So they will play, but they have produced good players. The people who almost made Kenya to carry it was called Sakafa, or the other one we played. Half of the squad came from Migori Youth Academy.
So this is another Mbadi. People used to call Raila a stingy man. After his death, I realized that he was feeding many struggling Luos and paying their rent, especially here in Nairobi. So which means all this time that Mbadi was with Raila, Mbadi did not know that Raila was doing all these things. Aye.
Let me tell you. Give me 2 minutes, tafadhali. You know what? Bro Benson? Bana Mbadi, and at the end of the statement is saying many Luos. Mbadi is preoccupied with tribalism in his mind. Anything Luos, Kikuyu. Mbadi should be called out of that. Let me tell you one thing. Raila himself was a king, and Raila has a structure and a system. So Raila has a pilot, a driver. Raila, he got so many maidens, he got servants, he got the PA, he got the master of ceremony. All these people, they were under his payroll, and they also got the bodyguards, those who are guarding home at Bond or whatever. So it is obvious they were under payroll. So there's no way they were working free for Raila. So people like Mbadi, I don't know, people like Mbadi, I told you, Mbadi cannot sustain the forthcoming election because we are beyond those politics of Luo, Kikuyu, stingy. But the truth remains, he is egocentric. Him is not even stingy. Him is egocentric. Raila was stingy, but Raila was advocating for, even if Raila was the prime minister. Raila called Mbadi to be there. In the office of the prime minister, Karoli was there. He called them, and also he distributed the CS to other tribes. But Mbadi has been the minister for finance. Whom has he called? Let's start from there. Whom has he called? So let him keep off this politics of Raila, and also let him keep off this politics of tribalism, Luo, Kikuyu affairs. Let him focus. He's the national treasury. Let him do for us the national transaction. These politics are nayo kabisa.
And bring policies that can make economy work. These politics of emotion, whipping emotion of the people, it will not help. And how I wish that everybody can understand, politics of emotion has never, ever, will never, ever deliver. When you talk of you are in government, if the economy is not working, it will not work for Mkikuyu. It will not work for Akamba. It will not work for a Luo. It will not work for all Kenyans. A working economy is not selective. But what is selective is when you are given time to, if you are employed in government and you are eating, that is now is selective because you enjoy it yourself. When you run with all those, fly with all those choppers, all that motorcade, I do not think that everybody in Gwasi Magunga area, you call yourself a Suba, all Subanese are riding with you in that. Yeah, so but the worst is coming, and how I wish that the internet is not forgetting. And see what is happening even to Rigathi Gachagua when the way he addressed Uhuru when Uhuru was exiting, he regrets, and those regrets are coming. Yeah, so Miguda, your closing remark, or Miguda is gone. Msimamo maybe labda tu jambo la mwisho tunaweza sema tu sasa, hii ya mwisho tu.
Kawa leo anyway, hiyo siwezi kosa la kusema kwa sababu ni mwana pana, lakini nataka kusikiza sana leo. Anyway, langu la mwisho ni kwamba hapo umeongea ndipo uchumi kama wendi sawa. Uchumi huu si wa jamii hii wala watu wa mahali fulani wala ngome hii, ni uchumi wa wote. Lakini sasa kuna kubwa zaidi ambalo liko machoni kwetu, na hili tukiling'amua haswa basi hili swala la uchumi hatutakuwa tunasukumana nalo, kwa sababu tutakuwa tunapatia suluhu. Unajua kaka, hapa Benson tuna mafungu mawili ya viongozi, lakini ndani ya hao mafungu mawili huku kuna wanaoaminika na kule pia kuna waaminika. Unajua fungu hili la kwanza namaanisha kwamba upande wa upinzani kuna wanaoaminika na upande pia ule wa serikali kuna waaminika. Upande wa serikali kuna wale ambao walijipata haswa njia panda, lakini ni mambo yakiendelea hivyo ambayo tunakwenda na moto uzidi, naona kuna wengi tu watahama pia kutafuta haswa kuungwa mkono haswa kwa watu wao. Alafu kuna wale ambao pia wako upande wa upinzani ambao wanaaminika kwamba wakisimamia sheria basi itafuatwa, na kama watu watafanya wasio ya tija utapata. Lakini pia kuna wana economy kote upande wote ule. Shida ni kwamba shida ni kwamba wewe mzazi ukiwa na tabia zisizofaa basi definitely zinaathiri haswa ule uzao wako. So unakuta wale jamaa si ni wangumi, baba mwenyewe tu ukilezileta jamaa na kupiga peupe, au jamaa ni wa mangumi, ni watu ambao ni wa visirani. So unakuta kwamba ni kitu kama hivyo, na ika mfano huo. So kile tunakosa hapa ni good leadership, uongozi bora. So hapa tumepelekwa katika mafungu mawili, kupotezwa hili la uongozi bora ambalo lina utuathiri, na ndiposa hatuna uchumi ambao ni thabiti, uchumi ambao utamfikia yeyote yule ambaye ni Mkenya. Unakuta ukiangalia enzi za Kibaki utofauti tunauona. Kweli hakufanya yote, ana mengi aliyofanya maybe asiyofaa, lakini katika swala la uchumi tuliona kwa kiasi kikubwa haswa taifa limeweza kusonga mbele. Maana ndio wakati tulikuwa tunaona hata banks zikiwa nje zikipiana mikopo, dalili tosha kwamba uchumi ulikuwa umeimarika kivyake. Na pia ndio mara kwanza haswa tuliposhuhudia haswa mapikipiki haya ambayo ni ajira mpaka wa leo, ndio hii sekta ya bodaboda haswa ilipozaliwa. So because aliyokuwa pale alikuwa na kule kujali. So utofauti tulionao hapa ni kwamba sasa ni wa mamlaka ndivyo upangiwe, haswa kama ni ngome yenu, basi viongozi wamefungamana na serikali ndio wanapangiwa. Sasa ndio nakuta watu wamekuja kulunch mabarabara na kadhalika na kadhalika. Yani faida ya kuwachache. Kuna wengine ambao wako kando, pengine viongozi hawajawiana, basi kwanza wamalizane na hilo mpaka watakakubaliana kuungana huku ndio so tuna utofauti huo. So uhaba wa uongozi bora ndio umetufikisha hapa, nikimalizia kaka. Kwa hiyo kila jamii, ari yangu nikimalizia kwamba hilo ni lazima tuliweke mbele, tutafute uongozi bora kwanza, kisha uchumi utakuja. Lakini tusipofanya hivi tutagawiwa kimafungu, kingome na ahadi na nini, na kutumika haswa kama kawaida yetu haswa wananchi, haswa kugawiwa kimafungu. Hawa wa hapa, sisi tuko hapa, tuna misingi yetu ni hii, wale tuna misingi yetu hii. Mwisho wa siku sisi ndio tutabeba huu mzigo. Lakini uongozi bora kwanza, kisha uchumi utafuata. Asante.
Si bora uongozi. Hebu sasa ya mwisho kabisa, na labda utaifupisha. Unadhani pali tuko wapiga kura na maviongozi, unaona wanaona mbele ama wanaona mbali?
Viongozi wa fungu gani ama viongozi wapi ambao kwa sababu kuna wale ambao wameshindwa tayari, najua hawaoni mbele, wanaona mifukoni. Labda pengine hili kundi, hili fungu la viongozi, labda wapi wale ambao wanafungamana na kusimama na mwananchi, ama wale ambao wanaamini kwamba ni wakati wao sasa wa kuweza kufanya kile ambacho kinastahili kwa ajili ya taifa.
Okay.
Najua hapa ndio sielewa hili fungu.
Nilikuwa nakuuliza kwa sababu labda watu wanaiangalia kwa jicho tofauti. Kwa mfano, labda kuna wale ambao wanaona mbele, na kusema kwamba labda wale ambao wanaona mbele, tuseme kama kauli ambayo tumekuja kuzungumzia sana ya waziri, ambao labda yeye kuona mbele kwake ni kwamba aone kwamba aseme mambo ambayo labda inaweza kwenda na hisia za watu, kusema kwamba wale ambao wamekuwa ni adui wetu ni kabila fulani, ama wale amekuja kugundua kwamba baba alikuwa anafanya ili kwa sababu yeye anaona mbele, ili wale ambao wanamsikiza wapate kumpatia nafasi, ama ateke hisia zao, akiwaambia bana tupige hapa, ndio hapo ndio tuko. Ni kweli, lakini tuseme kwamba aoni mbali, na kusema kwamba kuona mbali ni kwamba uangalie Kenya kwa ujumla, kwa sababu kulingana na jukumu ambao umepatiwa ni kwamba ni namna gani ile kazi ambayo nimepatiwa, ni vitu gani ambapo mimi naweza fanya kama waziri ili nione kwamba uchumi ya Kenya imemarika. Yani unaiona mbali, unaweza sema kwamba mimi naona mbali kwa takriban miaka 3 zijazo. Unaona mbali. Hivi ndio
kaka, usiende mbali. Katiba yetu imetupa mwongozo kwamba waziri kwanza sitoke ndani ya siasa. lakini vile vile akiteuliwa awe haswa ni mtu ambaye haswa na tajriba katika haswa wizara hiyo husika, kumaanisha kwamba haswa wale tunawaweka pale ni watu ambao wana maoni, wako na vision. For instance, wale kwa upande ule wakati huo wakina Kibaki wakija na mfumo wa 2030 vision 2030, wakiongozwa sana mzee wetu ambaye alikuwa anaonda mbele zaidi, hayati mwenda zake Raila Odinga. So unakuta sasa hivi ni tofauti, kwa sababu wanaowekwa nyadhifa ni marafiki wa karibu ambao wataweza kuamini na kupigania haswa kiongozi pekee, so kwa kutumia wananchi wake. Kwa hivyo atalazimisha wananchi wake wamwamini, ili kuaminikwa kwa wananchi basi kutakuwa ni suluhu na hitaji la huyu kiongozi, badala ya kutafuta haswa tajriba, uwezo wa mtu. So unakuta wacha niweke huyu hapa, kwa sababu nikimweka huyu ni wacha niweke huyu, then wacha nichakoroge kidogo hapa nione kama nimeleta kabila zote hapa. Na ukiangalia dockets ambazo mwingine wamepewa hata hazina tija, lazima waulize tena ushauri mali nyingine. Ukikataliwa huko, huyu hata kama ana tajriba hawezi fanya chochote. So hapo ndo kwenye kuzungumkuti kaka. So kwa kweli haswa kwa uongozi ambao tuko nao sasa hivi haujafikiria mbele kwa kupote vile, kwa vyovyote vile. That's why nasema kwamba it's high time tuachane na hii mambo mengi tu, tuchukue hiyo card with a good faith. I know there are those who believe on two term, ni mawazo yao, lakini ombi langu haswa hata mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu na hapa naomba wale ambao ni one term wawe zaidi na zaidi na zaidi. Dua hiyo waitilie haswa ndani, na kisha mwisho wa siku hawa viongozi ambao tunataka tuone kwamba wanaona mbele zaidi from the other side, the likes akina Sifuna, the likes akina nani, basi watu wahakikishie kwamba akura ile basi pale debeni itazungumza zaidi. Mimi nafikiri nitaishia hapo kaka.
Asante sana kakangu kwa maoni yako. Pia ndugu yetu hapa anasema hawaoni mbele wala mbali. Wako wapi? Wanaona nini? Ama hao sasa tuseme kwamba hao ni vipofu tu, wako tu hapo. Venye nilisema
amba kaka Benson hawaoni mbali, kwa sababu njoo bwana tufanye kazi pamoja hapa, kwa sababu jamii yenu tutasema tumeleta. Sio naambiwa, na hii kitu ilianza mapema kwamba unaona jamii yenu tumewapa maadili fulani, ilianza hivi hivi tu. Unaona hii ni ya kujali safari hii, na nyinyi nanyi pia tumewapa waziri fulani. So tunaanza kutengeneza matumaini na trust pasipo, kisha mwisho wa siku tunauzua matumaini badala ya vitendo. Mimi nitafungia pale, maana hapa nitachemka leo na muda hapa nimesemekana ni kidogo. So wacha tutakutana Mungu akija asubuhi kwa hapo. Niwashukuru ndugu zangu wa upande wa pili ule aswa mindful thinking na alafu kuna Gudia na wale wote ambao walikuwa pale na wale walionitangulia pia. Kesho ni siku na hamu aswa ya kutema cheche, lakini muda nao haturuhusu na nisimtendee ndugu yangu Benson hapa nikambana. Utamu ndio huu, lakini nawe nikambana upande mwingine. Wacha tuiite siku. Asante kaka yangu. Kwako Ben.
Asante sana. Mimi labda neno ambalo naweza tia la mwisho ni kwamba hao wamepatiwa chakula, wanatafuna. Sasa mawazo yao yote yamekuwa kwa utafunaji tu. Huwezi fikiria, kwani watu hapa unatafuna mpaka wale ambao wanakuzunguka ama wale ambao umewacha chini, kutafuna imeenda na mawazo yako, unaona. So unapata kwamba ufikirii kwamba kuna watu wengine pia hapa ambao pia wanataka watafune. Alafu hiyo chakula ambao umepatiwa ukaitafuna uwezi imeza. Unajua wanasema, wengine wanaweza sema ulinitafuna ukaimeza, lakini hao wanatafuna hawamezi, yani ile utamu lipo katika mdomo na hiyo chakula ambao wanakula, yani wawezi imeza. So hawajaimeza, so wamesahau kabisa. Asante sana Emmanuel Nyongesa, power. Asante sana Emmanuel Nyongesa. If you're new here, this is Brother Benson. You can hit the subscription button, and here we say your opinion counts. Thank you so much everyone for taking your time to be with me in this short discussion. And hello, ona broad-based ambassador ndio sasa nakuja na tunamaliza. Wewe kuja asubuhi utuambie broad-based wametufanyia nini. Labda ni Misiani is our broad-based ambassador. He usually advocates for broad-based. and I don't know, hebu tuambie umeenda wapi? Nataka kufunga. We are two-term and it's unstoppable. We know ambassador. Why should we? Sisi tumekubali, hatuna la kusema, lakini tunangojana two-term na one-term on election day to see who will carry the day. Okay, thank you so much.
Lakini labda pengine atatueleza, angepanda juu hapa akatueleza, si akina msimamo wetu tukabadilisha msimamo wetu, japo si rahisi. Angalau tuambie watu, pengine kuna utamu upande wa two-term, naona anapatilia pondo zaidi, lakini mwambie pia kuna one-term msimamo yuko hapa na kusubiria swa stage hapa. Wewe kesho asubuhi tupambane hapo kwa Afro na Benson, hiyo saa 1 uongo mpaka saa 3 kitachimbika hapo, kitaeleweka bila shaka bwana, naamini kutachimbika si haba.
Hata sisi tuko kadi, sawa, tumekubali. Okay, asanteni. No, I cannot allow him to come. I know if I do, hatutamaliza saa hizi Egyptian. I know he has something to say. Saa 1 asubuhi kesho, that is Saturday. Asubuhi, wewe utakuwa unaenda kanisa, lakini saa 1 asubuhi tutakuwa hapa na Mzalendo. Umealikwa ukue, ulete hoja zako. Vile vile msimamo pia alete hoja zake. Tusikie one term and two term ni nini Wakenya wanafaa watarajie kutoka kwenyu, na unaona. Kwa hayo machache, asanteni sana na Mungu wabariki. Tukutane kesho hapa asubuhi na mapema, na kwa wale wote ambao walikuwa na sisi katika kipindi hichi, bado nasema asante sana na Mungu wabariki.